From the great halls of their house, there are assembled three who hope to one day be the world's greatest driving heroes. Created from the cosmic legends of the universe comes our team captain, the Vision, Bill Fisher. Their soon-to-be Wonder Woman, Vicki Fisher. Our Captain Marvel and head flight trainee, Jennifer Skripchuk. And our Batman, the master of tools, gadgets, and all things mechanical, our mild-mannered soon-to-be billionaire, Alan Danvers. Their mission, to fight injustice, share what is right and wrong, to get you out of your house and come out racing with them, and serve all mankind. They are the Garage Heroes in Training Team.
Captain's Log Supplemental.
Miss Vicki.
Yes, sir.
You know what?
What?
I've been thinking about this Sentinel system.
Yeah. Tell me about the Sentinel system.
So what I was thinking was we have the one car that's got the aim dash that's slowing us down. Because installing the aim dash is actually, it probably is easy, but it's quite hard the first time. And we haven't figured that out yet. The Sentinel system is really easy to set up. So what I was thinking was, why don't we put it in the Lemons car? And we'll worry about the aim data information separately. And we'll kind of break it down into a project. Because then we'd have the motorsports video system that we really, really want, and we'd be able to stream it. We just won't have the data inside, but we have the data outside, so we can combine them later. But I think that's a really good solution.
So what does this Sentinel system do?
Well, if it had the aim data, it would have all the data on the screen, and you could see all their telemetry and everything live. But we'd be able to not only record it for viewing after the race, but we could actually watch our car during the race.
Ooh, like on the monitor and everything?
On a monitor, if you were at home and I was at a track, or if you were at the track and I was at home, depends on who gets the little short straw, but we'd be able to watch each other.
It's something I've always wanted to do.
And you know what? If you're driving, you know what you can do on the Sentinel system?
What's that?
You can communicate to me with your hands, and I can't do a thing about it.
Even better.
So, if you need to give a wave or a Jersey wave, whatever you need, we could save it and see it on the screen. And then you can have up to 3 different cameras, and it'll have picture in picture. You'll have the basic main shot out the front window, and then 2 cameras where you put them wherever you want. One could be on the driver, or one could be on the rear view. It's kind of cool.
Then we can upload it onto YouTube.
We could bore millions of people on YouTube.
I love it.
All right. Very well. You know what the only downside I see about this?
What?
Your mom and my mom are going to be panic stricken the entire weekend watching this thing to see if everything's going well.
This is true.
We probably shouldn't tell them.
I like the idea of having a Sentinel.
Mm-hmm. Well, luckily we have maybe 2. Depends on how things go. We're going to try. All right. That sounds like a plan. That's the project. We got to get that ready for the next race.
Sounds great.
All right. Very well. Thank you, ma'am. Vicki?
Yes.
It's Dominic and Dawson time.
I know. I'm so excited.
Wow. She gets so excited when Ben's on.
I do. I learn.
I come on the podcast. She's like, yeah, whatever. But Ben, it's like a party time.
Know it.
Mr. Party Time Dawson, are you here?
Present. I'm president.
Ben,
president.
There's certain things that we know about you.
Uh-huh.
You like VIR.
Yep.
You hate working on a car.
Ugh.
Exactly. And nothing makes you happier than having somebody out on the track that's fast and good that you can play with.
Yes, it's true.
Exactly. So part of being good is this thing called the race start.
Oh, yes.
It's an opportunity.
So much opportunity. The best opportunity you're going to have all
It
day.
is the most fun of the race, honestly. It really is.
So, Ben, you're the guy who teaches everybody how to dominate.
Yeah.
How can they get better at the race start?
Well,
This one could be a
immediately,
couple hours.
immediately get yourself completely attuned to the corner stations and the flags.
Mhm.
A lot of folks listening here are gonna be racing in the kind of series where they may not themselves be in a position on track to see the green flag drop. So you may just realize that the race is starting by seeing yellow flags near you disappear, and all of a sudden you're racing, right?
Mm-hmm.
Uh,
Lemons, I don't think has a green flag.
yeah, I think they wave it at the start finish line for like a second, but yeah, so yeah, I literally have seen them wave the green flag, so they do it, but it's not a big feature. Racing Lucky Dog or WRL or AER, I think all those you get at least one double file start. The start is the big
Yes.
event. You're all lined up and queued up, and you're all coming around, puttering around the last turn, waiting for the starter's wrist to flick even a millimeter with the green flag, and then you're all going. That's one kind of thing. I mean, when I was racing karts on a dirt oval, I mean, the start was everything. I never had the best. I never had the hardest hitting clutch or the most power in my engine, but I was like John Force on a restart. I was, everybody would just get in line and go when the guy ahead of them went. I would duck out of line so I could see the actual light, and as soon as I saw the light go, I was gone. And I would always get at least one or two people, and maybe keep one of those positions, and then fight for whatever else I could get. But
the guy I saw who was on the wall going full throttle. Was that you?
That was crazy. You'll never see. That's one thing you've seen one time, and you're never going to get to see again. They'll ban that crap so hard. It was cool though.
How do you ban it? How do you ban it though?
You just say nobody can pull a Chastain again. The next guy that does that is going to get a result. They'll figure out a way to. I mean, if they ban going under the yellow line on super speedways, they'll figure out a way to keep you from wrecking your car and gaining 30 spots. Anyway, but that was super cool.
That has nothing to do against starts, but sorry.
That's nothing to do with starts. But a race start is, race starts and restarts are a great chance to gain track position and be a little wilier, a little faster than people around you picking up on it. I mean, there have definitely been starts and restarts and lemons after a caution where everybody else is around him. He's been asleep, but I saw the flagger put that yellow away, and I'm gone.
Yep.
And I've had people come up and be like, "Hey, did you jump that start?" Like, no, you were asleep. I went.
Yeah.
So it's,
or it comes over the radio.
Yeah, or if you're one of those teams that's really smart. But one of the things that I think has helped me get so much better at starts is being on a small team where we don't have a spotter all the way around the track, and it's my job as a driver. If I want to make up a few spots in the start, I better be watching every single flag station I can, especially like with limits where kind of watching the flaggers just disappear a flag. It means you can go. You got to be on top of it. It's a competition element. So of course there's a safety element of paying attention to your flag stations and knowing what's happening at the corner stations. But the reason I'm good at it, the reason I have impeccable flagger spotting talent is because it's been a competitive element for me for so long with racing lemons, where it's just like got to go as soon as you see the flag disappear. So it's indelible for me now. Like I'm always going to be tuned into the flag station just because of that. But your a race start is where you get a chance to jump around some people who you might not have been able to pass under normal course of traffic, but they're asleep and you're gone. So they're super valuable, and it's important to be good at them.
Miss Vicki, you're our traditional starting queen because you
Is that right?
You just don't share with anybody else. But what else?
I know it's rough to get up that early and get into a car, but it is probably the most fun of the race that I enjoy.
Oh yeah,
it really is, because it's very chess-like. And as you start, you really just have to figure out what cars are opening the track for you. And if you can get in line behind that, then you can just really make gains right away. Because everybody's already clustered together and everybody's just kind of lining up and getting out there. The cars are rumbling. You're all got your heart rate going. And when they just take off, it's just trying to get into a position and then driving. But, that's probably one of the strongest areas that I have, is that I'm not intimidated by the other cars, and I don't have a problem driving side by side. or being in close proximity to other cars at this point, especially in the beginning of the race, are not going super fast at that point because everybody's still speeding up and getting into pace. But it's just so exciting. It really is. It's like horses from the gate. It's like horses from the gate.
Yep.
Like that first sip of coffee in the morning. It's got that go going.
So you guys have talked on and have yet to even address one way to get better.
Right. Get better.
Right.
Get better. Well, no, I have.
I know you have. I'm just messing with you.
But seriously, I think the key thing is to be really good at watching your flag stations and seeing what what flags are showing, which flags aren't. What does it mean? And being ready to just jump on it as soon as you see it. As soon as you see it change, like don't wait. Don't. A mistake I see other people make, or at least I think I see them make, and nobody's ever come to me and gone, Ben, guess what? At that restart when you were nearby, I was waiting on the guy in front of me. And nobody's ever going to own up to this, but I think plenty of people just wait for somebody else to go. Instead of being proactive and being, I'm going to go the second I get a chance. I'm going to be on top of it. I'm going to go. One of the things that I'm pretty active about doing, especially about trying to get better at lemon style restarts, where you're just waiting for a flag to disappear and hitting the road, is I got very active about when I'm in traffic under caution. I want to have line of sight to that next flag stand, and that's the worst feeling in the world when you're rolling around and you can't see the next one. Like I'll get way out of line. I'll get in a weird part of the track just to have a better view of that next station. So if I'm coming around a corner or something like that, and I can't see the station I just passed, I can't see the next one yet, I'll get in a weird place on tracks, just so I can see the next one sooner. Does that make sense?
Yeah, or go a little bit faster if there's room, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but I do not want to be out of line of sight of any flag station at any point, especially under a caution, because I want to know the second I could go. I want to be there for it. So that's part of my getting better at restart strategy for lemons, was just trying to be super on the ball with all the flag stations and where I could see them all the time. Like I hate that stranded feeling for a second or two where you can't see the next one, and the car in front of you is not doing anything to help you get to it either. You're like, get out of the way, let's go see the next flag station. So those are a couple of things right off the bat I would say are pretty important to be keyed in on and getting better and better at restarting. And when you could practice restarts in iRacing and practice starts to your heart's content there with no kind of consequence to your checkbook.
No. And one thing to be aware of is there's those spots on the track where you cannot see a flag station. Be aware there. Either position your car so that you can see the one behind you in your mirror, or try to get through those little flag station gaps as quick as you can so you don't have the gap.
Yep.
That's kind of important. What about Ben? I watch racing. I know what to do. When the race is going to get started, I know I'm supposed to weave back and forth. I got to do that because I got to. That's the thing.
I love when nobody's doing that. Like if you're in a big line of cars waiting for a race start, and I'll get on the radio. I'm like, hey, watch this. Because if nobody's doing it, and I'm in a big line, I'll go watch this, y'all, and I'll start doing it, and then everybody will start doing it.
Right? It serves no purpose whatsoever at that speed. Nothing.
It serves a little purpose.
Not really.
It sort of depends.
Really.
You can get the trash off of your tires, especially if it's a pretty brisk pace laps. You might be getting enough heat in your tires. If your tires have crap on them or whatever, I could see doing it. I'm also just fine starting a race without doing it, because whatever benefit you're getting by doing that, as soon as you get back in line and roll for 30 seconds or something without doing it, you've lost most of the heat you put in your tires. So, unless you time it exactly right, or unless you're really getting a bunch of massive heat into your tires, it's just in some cases, it might just be a good way to spin your car out before the race starts.
Yep.
Yeah.
What about if you're driving like a sprint race or a little higher level car than we have, or a little higher level tire than we have? What do you think would be a good way to actually get the tire heated up, rather than doing the wiggle?
Just braking.
Yeah.
Run it up hard and slamming on the brakes. Running up hard, slamming on the brakes within the confines of whoever's ahead of you and whoever's behind you. If you can get a little bit of space to run up, and if you have a chance to get yourself a little bit of a gap and hit a corner at 0.6 a couple of times, a corner that is going to put a little bit of heat in the tires. Do that, but one of the things that heats your tire up without really thinking about it is just hard braking. So if you're able to kind of just Like if you needed to really work hard to bed in a set of pads before a race start, you probably also put some heat in the tire too.
Yeah, and if you're gridded up, you don't want to be doing the hard brake, accelerate hard brake, because you're in a grid, right? You could also just kind of drag the brake a little bit under throttle.
Yeah, you could, but I mean, even if you are in a 2x2 grid, you can still do some zooming up and slowing down. Everybody's doing it, not on the lap where the lights are out on the pace car necessarily, but anything up to that last little place where you really need to get formed up is probably fine.
Right. And if you are in a series or you are in a race where they do grid up and everything, just really, besides, Ben Dawson, I got to go see where the flags are because I want to get to jump on everybody. You've got to be aware of all the cars that are around you. So your vision is crucial. I mean, you are in morning or afternoon commute traffic, and you are going to be going way past 55 in a very short amount of time. And some of the people on restarts, it looks like they're still on their phone, just like everybody else on a commute. So you got to be careful there and be aware and read the body language of the cars.
Yeah. Yep. Totally.
Miss Vicki, did I miss anything?
No, I mean, for me, it is definitely flag stations, knowing where all your flag stations are. And on top of that, realizing how alert your flag stations are. Because there have been times when the flag stations have not been so alert.
Yeah.
So keep an eye out for those. Because sometimes there's newer people that are out there. So keep an eye on that for sure. But for me, it's just realizing at that point where your quick cars are, who your quick cars are.
Yeah.
And in the beginning, see if you can manage to have them create openings for you.
See, Vicki approaches it from a bottom feeder sort of mentality, like who can I scavenge off of through this traffic?
Well, you know why? It's because I was always in the slowest car. I was always in the slowest car.
I approach it from I am going to find my own way, and whoever else can try to pass me, nobody's going to pass me. Nobody's passing me.
I'm not there yet. I'm not there yet.
Yeah,
I'm giving you the other side of that perspective. I'm giving you the slow car side.
That's good.
As you learn.
That's good. I would point out that some folks in a restart is a great place to make up time. I know I keep saying that, but even past the initial start of the first turn, some people just drag ass. Have you all experienced this? Like it just takes some people a while to get going. It doesn't take me any time to get going. So I'm gonna eat those people's lunches every time on the start. Because I'm not waiting on anything. I'm not working up to it. I'm gone. So kind of think about that, about how to turn the switch on and get going. There's no waiting around. Like don't kind of work up to it and go.
Well, the other thing too is that when after a yellow flag, some people kind of get into a zone and they're really not paying attention, or they're caught in between flag stations. And if you don't have a radio, when somebody says yellow flag, you can gun it and pass like 2 cars before they realize what's happening.
Right.
So
that's true.
Well, according to this, I am a delicacy to some Russian women. So I'm going to say, Vicki, it's not the cars that are slow.
Oh, I know that. I'm still learning. I'm getting there.
The confidence you get when you're being pursued by international women of whatever.
Oh yeah,
it's fantastic.
Sure.
So if you too are from Russia and want to talk about restarts and other topics, garageyearsandtraining@gmail.com.
Baby.
Exactly. So, Mr. Dawson, did we miss anything about the starts? Did we cover this one well enough? Are you feeling like you got the yellow flag started to go down and you've already left this episode?
I've been gone, baby. I think it was a good start. I'm sure some other stuff will occur to us. We can come back and talk about restarts, or maybe some of our beloved listeners would like to weigh in with some of the things they like to talk about, and we can come back and talk about that too. But I think that basically for success at restarts, you should practice as much as you can away from the track on the simulator or something like that, just so you're kind of comfortable with the concept of restarting and comfortable with the concept of going bonsai with somebody right next to you and hopefully beating them in the next corner. Because also, I'll say this: when you get really good at restarts, even if you don't have the faster car, you might find yourself in the lead of a few races and letting everybody
true.
work their way up to you and pass you. I've definitely been not the fastest car in a race, but the best restarter, and gives you a chance to get a bunch of great track positions. So even though you may not get to hold that lead, you get a head start, and everybody else has to work their way up to you. So it's it's important and fun to be good at starts. It's so much fun. It's the most fun you can have with your pants on.
I think we lost Vicki on that one, but that's okay.
That was pretty good. That's
so
good.
so the other thing is there was a rash of races this year where it seemed like there was more yellow flag laps than there were green flag laps. And while that's not fun, if you can get good at their starts, you can actually overperform what you really probably deserve because you're constantly doing restarts.
Ask me how I know this one. It's true.
So it doesn't seem like, oh, it's just one start. Well, every restart's a start too. So you can actually, gain significant places and look like Ben Dawson if you do it right.
He's a fraud. He's a fraud and a hack.
That's all right. He's got a good podcast. He's got a good podcast episode series though.
I heard he does. He's always talking some kind of shit on there.
That's all right. There's an episode coming out where we start talking about you. That's going to be pretty funny. Actually, it might have came out today.
Oh, great.
Might have came out today. Well, and
awesome.
if Ben listens to the episode and returns, we'll see him next on the next Dominating with Dawson. If not, we know that we're going to need to rename and rebrand, but that's okay.
Oh man, I'm looking forward to I'm going to retire.
You don't get out that easy, Ben. Think of this. Think of, you get paid twice as much on the retirement plan than you do for doing it now. So
oh wow.
It's like a lifetime pension, man.
Oh, that sounds great.
That's right. You could become infinitely the same millionaire you are now.
Yeah.
It's all right. We
I'm
may
100-aire.
That's right. We may work out that the Vicki trade show where she comes down and you go to work and your car's magically fixed for you. So
I'm ready for that.
Ben's like,
I ain't working on it.
Yeah, that's true. You're not going to have to elbow him out of the way, Miss Vicki. It'll be fine.
That's right.
Thank you, Ben.
Thanks,
Thank you,
Ben.
guys. Thanks for having me.